This seems to be some kind of primitive sculpture of a human. There. Got it to stay open. Have to lower the water level. An Alux, plural Alashab, is akin to the Maya version of a gnome or leprechaun. They're about as high as an adult's knee and wear traditional Maya clothing. They are created whenever a farmer builds a little house on his property for them, after which they'll help the corn grow for a period of 7 years, making it rain and chasing off predators. They're usually invisible, and in spite of their benefit to the land, they like to play tricks on or frighten humans. Don't call one by name, or you'll summon it from its home, and it won't be happy with you. Now to get out of this horrid-smelling place. I should be close now. 18th of December, 1604. I've neglected this journal for far too long. We've worked hard to build the mission. Every day more people arrive. Native villagers seeking conversion, soldiers tired of war, others whose faith has been tested by the long, dangerous journey through the jungle, all lured by Lopez's gospel of purity through labor. We work from sunrise to sunset, and then Lopez, or Angel de la Cruz as he now calls himself, spends his evening preaching the mission's purpose, to test the chosen one. He's calmed considerably, and if he believes something pursues him still, he keeps it to himself. Tomorrow we begin to build the library, where the box will safely rest until it is ready to be found by the chosen one. Abby's friend mentioned a crypt somewhere around the library. I'll meet you there.
Yo los veo perfectos.
30th of December, 1603. Lopez has just returned from a nearby village, and with him came a group he says will follow him and help us with construction. There was something strange about his behavior. I attributed it to the long journey through the jungle. That night, however, he admitted what had been bothering him. "They followed me," he whispered. "The others." He walked off. I spent that sleepless night worrying about his deviations toward madness.
So there's a crypt around here somewhere?
A secret crypt.
Why secret? If Lopez is involved, there's bound to be a trick.
That's a solid theory. What about you? Did you find anything?
I got a pamphlet. 7 steps closer to God.
Who knows? Maybe it'll help. Strange there are only 7 stations. This must be based on an older tradition. Jesus takes up the cross, falls the first time, meets his mother. Then Veronica wipes his face before he falls the second time. Then he is crucified and finally entombed.
Go ahead. I'll be around.
These collars were used abroad in Nostromo, likely ferrying the captured indigenous people back to Spain to be sold as slaves. I wonder how it ended up here.
Hijo de nuestra amada Virgen, ¿cuánto deseo?
Feels like a mausoleum.
Means we're on the right track, right? Jonah, I feel something. We're getting close. Let's look around for signs of Lopez.
These notes were written by the founder of the Sect of Seven. They're talking about funds allocated for renovations to the library.
This cross, it looks like it's from the 17th century. The door closed and a silence settled, so great and so vast I held my breath for fear of breaking it. Lopez turned to me, his eyes wild, a smile screwed across his face. He came toward me, arms outstretched, and for a moment fear flickered across my heart. But he pulled me close, his fingers digging into my shoulders. I found it, he whispered in my ear, and releasing me, he wandered through this room. Walls of pure jade reaching up to the heavens, completely covered in intricate etched mosaics and carved figures. I followed at a distance as he approached an altar, and watched as he lifted a silver box from it. The others are worried that Brothers de la Cruz and Serrano will not return. I have so far maintained they will, that they always have. But in my heart, I am beginning to believe we have seen the last of them, and that grief weighs heavily. We will continue their work. Either they will return to find we have not forgotten the teachings, or they will look down on us from above and bless our continued labors. his wings you may seek refuge. Under his wings. A heron and an eclipse. "25th of December, 1603. It has been 4 days since we turned away from the city. We travelled in silence and in circles, guided by a confusion of grief, relief, and celebration. Lopez and I exited the jungle and landed in a clearing, under the gaze of several faces carved into the side of the mountain. Lopez had an episode, as he later called it. He threw himself in front of the faces and screamed for forgiveness. The heaviest sin on his heart was abandoning Perez to the strange warriors. They had grown close over the journey. Try as I might, I could not console him, so I built a fire and waited, as he decreed his actions and pleaded for forgiveness from the silent stone faces. "26th of December, 1603. Lopez woke me, having already prepared a Spartan breakfast. This is where we were meant to be, he said, a cold determination in his voice, so very different from how he acted just the day before. I finished my meal as he spoke of holy retribution, how he had acted in error, but now God had put his hands on his shoulders and shown him the path to walk. We will spread the true word of God from this small mission, he said, pointing to an adobe building just beyond the stone faces. We will prepare the path for the chosen one to follow, for only he who does will be worthy of this box. Jonah! This book describes a stranger's arrival at the mission. He founded the Sect of Seven. Maybe that was Lopez.
Light on the path. We must be getting close. We should keep looking.
John, son of Zebedee, one of Jesus' apostles, also called the beloved disciple. He and his brother James were known for their impetuousness and temper, which prompted Christ to start calling them Boanerges, sons of thunder. John is credited with writing 5 books of the New Testament, the Gospel of John, the 3 epistles of John, and the Book of Revelation. He's the patron saint of love and loyalty, as well as writers, publishers, and scholars. One of his symbols is a serpent in a cup, which is linked to his patronage of victims of poisoning and burns. The sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. Jonah, Those 2 Bible quotes. The sun will be darkened, and under his wings you may seek refuge.
What does this mean?
That's it. Look for a heron and an eclipse. This roughly drawn sketch shows St. John repelling a demon attack. Perhaps they plan to have this as one of the frescoes in the mission. Brother de la Cruz appeared one day, emerging from the jungle, breathing new life into the mission. There were just the 3 of us when he arrived, and Sister Dorothea had been ill for many weeks. He and his associate began to work that first day. By the next week, de la Cruz had recruited a workforce of 3 dozen. They have prepared the bell tower and worked the fields, planting crops. Brother de la Cruz aims to make us self-sufficient. We'd spent so long alone out here, I'd worried we'd lose God's ear. Lo and behold, we not only had his ear, but he sent another to act as his hands as well. Stone faces weep as Jesus creeps along the dolorous path. Too many died, more will still, and more will still, and more will still. His light leads the way.
Tardaremos eternidades. ¿Cuántos años?
Un paso a la vez. Un día a la vez.
Como si tuviéramos elección.
There's a whole mural under here. Veracruz, the true cross.
Is that what I think it is?
The silver box. It's unmistakable.
Jesus takes up the cross. These are the stations of the cross. But there's a bunch missing.
Before 1600, there were only 7. This could date back to the time of Lopez.
This is one of his clues.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing he does.
All right. Let's see if we can find a cross lying around here somewhere. When we find the box, how do we get the key back from Dominguez?
We'll find a way.
Found something?
Yeah. Jesus takes up the cross. Help me lift this.
That actually worked.
Looks like a long way down. Let's see where this leads.
Thanks.
Station 2. Jesus falls the first time.
There's an inscription here. Ambulate dum lucem habitis.
We'll have to use the light beam to follow the stations of the cross.
That did it. I wouldn't want to be buried in here. My head tossed behind a cross somewhere.
Walk while you have the light, so that the darkness may not overtake you,
Sounds like a hint.
or a threat.
This looks like the Virgin Mary.
Station 3. Jesus meets his mother.
The mirror looks dusty. We need to get the light to point the way.
He's fallen. There's a woman in this one. It looks like he's accepting the cross here. Look, someone else got close. He wasn't as lucky.
I'll give you a boost. Hey, it worked. The light leads this way. What happened to these people?
It looks like the light activated something.
Laura! Are you alright? You're lucky it was a little rusted.
This must be Station 4.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at these frescoes. Have to use a light beam to follow the Stations of the Cross.
These people look like they were tortured. Hung up in the ceiling.
I don't think this was just a crypt. This must be Station 4. Let's have a look at these frescoes.
These people look like they were tortured. Hung up in the ceiling.
I don't think this was just a crypt. This must be Station 4. Have to use it. Let's have a look at these frescoes. There's a woman in this one. Look, someone else got close. He wasn't as lucky. Looks like he's accepting the cross here. I don't think this was just a crypt. Have to use a light beam to follow the Stations of the Cross. This must be station. Have to use a light. Let's have a look at these frescoes. There's a woman in this one. Look, someone else got close. He wasn't as lucky. It looks like he's accepting the cross here. I don't think this was just a crypt. Have to use a light beam to follow the Stations of the Cross. Have to use a light beam to follow the Stations of the Cross. This must be Station 4. Let's have a look at these frescoes. I don't think this was just a crypt. I'll get it.
Station 5. Jesus falls a second time. Lara, is that what I think it is?
The Stations of the Cross again.
But with mummies. Isn't this sacrilegious?
Not necessarily. They could have been paying the ultimate homage.
Or they were just sick.
This must be Station 6. Have to use the light beam to follow the Stations of the Cross.
Looks like a church. These ones are posed like monks.
Uh-huh.
So Lopez staged the whole crucifixion with mummies? Seems sacrilegious.
I think this was a place of worship for an underground sect.
Literally. I guess this is a sect from the pamphlet.
Mm-hmm. They're carrying him. They're lifting him.
Ugh, this is disgusting.
She's wiping
I'm
his
glad
face,
I wasn't around
I
when
think.
Lopez was. That inscription. Do not fear those who kill the body, but are unable to kill the soul.
Jesus, don't let Lopez get in your head. He's caused enough trouble already.
Okay, let's do this.
Think he's taking up the cross. He's carrying the cross. Jesus, nailed to the cross. What's the first step of the crucifixion?
Not sure. Maybe it's on that pamphlet.
Strange, there are only 7 stations. This must be based on an older tradition. Jesus takes up the cross, falls. She's wiping his face, I think.